to our Goglow Hub channel, and today we'll be talking about HTML tables. HTML tables. Tables are made up of rows and columns. Rows and columns. Your columns are your vertical spaces, while your rows are your horizontal spaces. Another name for your column is your field. Another name for your row is your record. HTML tables allow web developers to arrange data in rows and columns. So this is your column, while this is your row. All right, while this is your column. So here we have 3 columns, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. This is your header row. This row is the row that gives your columns titles. Okay, all right. Now, how do we create table in HTML? What is a simple way of creating table in HTML? Let us see. To create a table in HTML, all you need to put is your table element. You need a table element. Okay, you have your table opening tag and your table closing tag. This is just all you need to create a table element. Your table opening tag and your table closing tag. After you have created your table, we will now want to create rows in our table. Our TR are the rows. Each TR is a row. Each TR is a row. Hence, we have 3 rows in this table. Now, the columns. How do we create columns in a table, in a HTML table? We create columns by creating cells. By the time we start creating cells, our columns start forming. There are 2 elements that are used to create cells in a table in HTML. Those elements are your TH element and your TD element. They are used to create cells. Okay. Now, this row has 3 cells. It has 3 cells: company, contact, and country. However, these cells are your table headers. So they are the parts of your table that gives your columns names or portfolio or titles. While the TD is our table data. That is what holds the information or data in the table. So we have 3 cells here, 3 cells here, 3 cells here. As the cells are building, they form columns. Let us try the example and see. All right. So in our first row, we have a cell, company, a cell. We have under cell contact. We have under cell country. In our next row, which is this row, we have Alfred's Photokis. We have Maria Anders. We have Germany. In the third row, we have Central Commercial Moctezuma. We have Francisco Chang. We have Mexico. Can you see that with these, we've been able to form columns, 3 columns, using the cells, the TH and the TDs. All right. Let's continue with the tutorial. Table cells. Each cell is defined by a TD or a TH. Okay, so each cell is defined by a TD and a TD opening tag and a TD closing tag. TD stands for table data. Everything between TD opening tag and TD closing tag are the contents of the table cell. Okay, we have the table opening tag and the table closing tag with 1 row and 3 cells. What I'm seeing here is a table opening tag, table closing tag, 1 row, CR opening tag, CR closing tag. This is exactly 1 row in a table, and then we have 3 TDs with our 3 cells. A table cell can contain all sorts of HTML elements, text, images, lists, links, and other tables. Okay. Table rows. Each row starts with a TR and ends with a TR tag. Table row stands for table row. TR stands for table row. Okay, I've explained this already. So here we have 2 rows and 3 columns. All right. You can have as many rows as you like in a table. Just make sure that the number of cells are the same in each row. Note, there are times when a row can have less or more cells than another. You will learn about that in a later chapter. Table headers. Sometimes you want your cells to be the table header cells. In those cases, use a TH tag instead of a TD tag. TH stands for what? Table header. So the table header will form a row with titles for your columns. Okay, so by default, the text in TH elements are bold and centered, but you can change that with CSS. All right, that's the end for this module. Let's go over to table borders. Let's talk about table borders. HTML tables have borders of different styles and shape. How to add a border in HTML table? So add a border, the CSS border property on. You have to use the CSS border property on your table elements, on your TH elements, and on your TD elements. All right. So this is where we gave our border a size of 1px, a width of 1px rather, a style of solid, and color of black. So let's try it. Can you see? In our CSS, we gave table th and td. Remember, I've explained what when you have comma separating your selectors, it means this, and this are going to obey the command. So it has border width of 1px, border style of solid, which is continuous line, and a color of black. That's how we have this table. However, if you notice, you see that each cell has its own line, and the table itself also has its own line. This is the table, this is the th, and this is the td. These two are cells, this is the table. Okay, so let's see how we can fix this so that it can just have one line. Okay, so to achieve that, we'll be working with border collapse property, a collapsed table border. To avoid having double lines in the example above, you set the CSS border collapse property to collapse. This will make the borders collapse into a single border. So in the same command for your table th and td, you add a border collapse property and give it a value of collapse, and your table borders will simply collapse into each border. So you have single lines. So by default, you have double lines, but with the border collapse property, you can now have single lines, which is looking more like it. Okay. Styling table borders. Let's see how we can style our table borders. If you set a background color of each cell and give the border a white color, which is the same as the document background, if your document has a white background and you give your border a white color and color the cells, it will give you the impression of an invisible border. Okay, it will give you the impression of an invisible border. So let us try it out. Here we still have our border collapse and our border property. However, we've set our border color to white. Okay, and this is affecting table th and td. Now for the cells, we give our th and td. Remember our cells are your th and td. So when we give it a background color, it will give us an impression of an invisible border, since the background is white in color. Okay, so it's giving us an impression of an invisible border. All right, let's move on. Well-rounded tables. With the border radius property, the borders get rounded corners. All you have to do is to give your border radius to your table th and your td. Okay, when you give your table th and td a border radius property, it will give us this result. We try it to give us this result. Your table now has rounded borders. Okay, all right. Now you can skip the border around your table elements by removing the table selector. Okay, in your CSS, if you remove a table selector, remember that there was a table selector here. Let's try it. Let's add back our table selector. So there was a table selector here. When we add it back, you see that the table selector is this outward line, the line outside. Okay, the border outside, the one enclosing all of them. Remember that your table element is the one that encloses every other element. It has an opening and closing tag. However, if we remove this table selector from our code, the border will only be given to your th and td. Okay, still with a border radius. You will now discover that that enclosing line has gone out. All right, let's talk about dotted table borders here. Very simple. You just use your table styles, your border style. Give them a different border style. Remember, we have different border styles: dotted, dashed, solid, double groove, ridge, start on set, none, hidden. If you don't want any border, you say border none. Give it a none value. So you can give your table a different border style. This is border style property, although you can still use your shorthand to determine the border style. All right. Remember, your shorthand is the border colon, then the border width 1px space, the border style dotted space, the color. But here you're specifying each of them one after the other. So you've talked about border style. Now they want to talk about border color. Okay, let's try this example. So you must declare your border style first before you declare your border color. So can you see that the border style was declared and border color has been added. All right. So, and this was given to only th and td. It was not given to table. If you add table here, the outline for table will be around these elements. All right, let's go over to table sizes. So under table sizes, you want to achieve uh, something like this, where you have different sizes for your columns and rows. Okay, you want to achieve different sizes for your columns and rows, and that's why this topic is talking about table sizes. When you want to create different sizes for your columns and rows, you use the style attributes with the width and height properties to specify the size of a table, row, or column. All right. You want to set the width of your table, you can set the width of your table here and assign it a width of 100%, which means it will cover the entire screen. You said when using a percentage as a size unit for a width means how wide will this element be compared to its parent element, which in this case is the body element. So width of 100% means it will cover the entire width of the parent, 100% of the parent. HTML table column width. Let's see how the column width works. To set the size of a specific column, add the style attribute on a th or td element. To set the size of a specific column, add the style attributes on a th or td element. So for us to increase the width of a particular column, just the first column in that, or any column, any cell in that particular column. Like if I want the first column to have a very large width compared to others, I'll come to my any of the first cells, okay, any of the columns, and give it a width of 70%, which means other columns will share. If this guy has 3 columns, other columns will share the remaining 30%. So other columns will share 15%. Let's see. So can you see? Other columns, this one is taking 70% of the table width. These two will not share the remaining. All right. So when you want to increase the height of your row, you simply use your row, you add a height property using your style. You can also do this on page by giving them class names. So you can set for your second row, you want your second row to have a particular height. See the TR, it was given in the second row, in the TR, the opening tag of the second row. So it's given a style property, style attributes using height property and setting the height property to 200 px. You discover that that particular row will have a height of 200 px. Okay. So at this point, we'll be stopping our tutorial. We'll continue our tutorial from table headers, padding and spacing, close span and row span, table styling, and table call group. All right, see you in our next tutorial. We'll be starting our next tutorial from table headers.